Hello and welcome. This is from the CBN. We bring to you weekly reports and expert analysis of the actions, policies, and economic initiatives of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. I'm Williamisi Dada. As part of its continuous efforts to achieve massive adoption of Nigeria's digital currency, the Naira, the Central Bank of Nigeria, in collaboration with the Bankers Committee, last weekend conducted Inera roadshows at two major markets in the Lagos metropolis. An Hollywood actor was unveiled as Inera brand ambassador at the event, and several people went home with various gift items. We have details of the roadshow for you in today's package. Also, we bring to you excerpts of the panel discussions at the recently held CBN RT200 Non-Oil Export Summit. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this break.
If someone calls or sends you a message that you have payment issues with your bank and requests that you reveal sensitive information, end the call and don't click. It might just be a scam. No bank will ever ask you for your personal identification number, PIN, mobile banking password, or your card verification code, CVC. Scammers always sound genuine, but don't fall for their bait. Don't respond to phony emails or SMS, and don't click on any dubious links. Even if the other party calls your date of birth or your BVN, don't give them your security details. If you suspect there's an issue with your account, the safest thing to do is go to your bank or call the number provided by your bank directly. Protect your bank details so no one steals your money. This message is from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN.
Welcome back. In April, the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Bankers Committee, during a virtual press briefing, said they are working to move on to the second phase of Nigeria's digital currency, the Naira, which will see to the onboarding of the unbanked using the USSD platform to aid financial inclusion. The managing director of the Guarantee Trust Bank, Mrs. Miriam Olusoya, at the virtual press briefing had stressed that the future of money is digital, hence the proactive move of the CBN to pioneer central bank digital currency in Africa.
And since this was done, we've seen over 756,000 downloads of the app. In terms of consumer wallets, we've seen 165,000 consumer wallets and 2,800 merchant wallets. And the advantage of the Naira is that currently it's at no cost. And one of the things the central bank wants to achieve is that it will remain cheaper, even if subsequently there's a cost to it, it will still remain cheaper than other transactional channels. And the Naira is a digital currency that has legal backing. So, like I said, the future of money is digital, but it's also essential that we embrace one that has legal backing, is issued by the government and has legal backing. The second advantage, again, to the Naira is that it's pegged to the Naira. So it's not fluctuating. You move it from Naira, and when you move it back, the value has changed. So it's pegged to the Naira. It's in and out at the same rate, at the same value as the Naira. And moving on to the phase two, currently now it's an app. Moving on to the phase two, the plan is to be able to onboard the unbanked using the USSD platform. So this will be able to aid financial inclusion. And this channel is cheaper, reliable, like I already talked about, reliable, always available payment channel. It's going to support digital economy, improves economic activities. And in terms of social interventions, it's just a very easy method of supporting social intervention to support Nigerians. There's instant settlements, availability is almost 100%, no dispense errors or reconciliation that we may see with other channels. So this is also something that we are going to be pushing as a committee of bankers, the Inera adoption. Thank you.
Now, in line with that decision to push for the massive adoption of the digital currency, the Naira, by the citizenry, the Central Bank of Nigeria, in collaboration with the Bankers Committee last week, Friday and Saturday, staged road shows at the Lagos Balogun Market and the Yaba Tejosho Market, respectively.
Don't collect here. You never collect anything here. I think about it. Hey, whoa. You wear your phone now. Who sent you from home? I'm your state. So I want to deliver people right now. Oh yeah. If I do mistake, go open church like this. Hey. Are you ready right now? Ready for this one? Ready for this one? Who don't download self click apostle again?
The Inera team, made up of CBN staff and some commercial bank employees, were on ground to facilitate instant onboarding for attendees at the road shows, while dance performances and music in the background ensured there was no dull moment.
What is this? Yes! Inera! Okay. What is this?
There were also dance competitions for willing participants who went home with various Inera branded gift items courtesy of the Bankers Committee.
I don't say anybody will come up with select something here. Now power bank with this. Take out the charge your phone where. All the way from Inera. This for you. Hold on like this, not turn them upside down.
Nollywood actor and Inera brand ambassador Gabriel Afolayan made an appearance at the road show, urging Nigerians to embrace the digital currency for seamless transactions.
Today, you go set for you. Now my guy, now my team. Make una first talk say Inera na money. I don't hear Inera na wetin. Oh yeah now. All right.
I'll advise Nigerians to embrace Inera because it's like you have money without having money, without even physical with you. So when you go to make transaction, you already believe there's money with you because it's just about codes, and that's not about it. It's like Bitcoin. So Inera is a standard mode now that people need to embrace for transactions to go through. Yeah.
So as you can see, we are here to promote the Inera wallet, so that people can see it, make the public know the importance of having Inera wallet and most of the things that the Inera wallet can do for them. We have been able to tell them that we have the wallet for individuals, and then we have the one for the merchants that our business people can, maximize, take advantage of. The merchant wallet has different capabilities, just like the POS. You can create different tellers on it, and you'll be seeing whatever they are doing. You can disable the withdrawal so that they can't disable, and you can create tellers on it. For the individual wallet, it has a lot of opportunities. Transactions there are seamless. Once you give me your own wallet ID, and I know the other person's wallet ID, and we'll make transfer, you'll see that it will be seamless. All sorts of fake transactions, you've sent money to me, we can't see it, there's nothing like that. And it goes further to reducing the cost of transaction that I'm sending from my mobile app to another person's mobile app, thereby some money is being withdrawn from my account. There's nothing like that, in as long as you are transferring from your wallet to the other person's wallet.
Does the same way you have your Naira notes in your wallet, it's the same way you can actually have a digital copy of your Naira in your e-wallet. So we came around to sensitize people to get them onboarded and to actually teach them how to do transaction with it. And we've been able to do that a lot here this morning.
Yeah, we've onboarded quite a number of people. We started for quite a while now. We did in Balogu market yesterday, and we are now at Joshua market. And it's alarming, it's cool. Yeah, people accepted it. Gradually we'll get there, but people are, they're getting sensitized and they're tagging along.
So the energy is help and the energy is encouraging.
Yeah, it is. The energy is okay. People accepted it. So I hope in the coming days, many people will be onboarded.
And just before we go on a break, let's inform you that as part of efforts to drive financial inclusion, facilitate macroeconomic growth, and integrate the Nigerian economy to the world-leading economies through innovation and cutting-edge technologies, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and Africa Fintech Foundry, AFF have opened Inera Hackathon. Interested participants should visit the Inera Hackathon website at affcbnhack.com to register for the event. Share the news.
North, South, East or West, male or female, old school or millennial, rural or urban, the Naira is the same, and so is the e-Naira. The e-Naira is a legal tender issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria. So, let's embrace it. The e-Naira will foster financial inclusion, improve access to credit, facilitate cross-border remittances, and it's easier to transfer. E-Naira, same Naira, more possibilities. This message is from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN.
Thanks for staying tuned. You're watching From the CBN, a weekly program that brings to you reports and expert analysis of the actions, policies, and economic initiatives of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. The RT200 Non-Oil Export Summit is one of the 5 anchors of the RT200FX program, an initiative of the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Bankers Committee to achieve the repatriation of $200 billion in export proceeds over the next 3 to 5 years. Maiden edition of the summit held on June the 16th at the Eco Hotels and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos. We bring you highlights of the panel discussions anchored by top bankers in the country.
The governor of the central bank has emphasized that while we're here, it is important that we have a proper coordination for efficiency. We've seen instances where reforms are taking place in the various sectors in the entire value chain, but in silos. So the outcome at end of it is suboptimal. And what is important is, effective collaboration among these agencies. It is important that we have, a diverse group of panelists here who are going to be speaking to the few things that has been discussed.
Maybe Mohammed Koko should help us first.
Okay.
We now have the Lekki Deep Sea Port, which is a great thing which your institution has done. But we do have challenges with the port with respect to transportation. The fact that we don't have a rail line connecting it, all right, in itself is going to put a lot of pressure on the system. Don't get me wrong, it's a good thing that at least we do have that port. But what do you think we need to do? What plans do you have in mind to help decongest and make sure we don't find ourselves in the same situation that Apapa is, if you get the point I'm trying to make? If you can share with us, Coco.
Good afternoon. Now, we all know that Lekki Port is definitely going to come on stream between September to October this year. It will be able to handle vessels the size of which have not visited the country because of the draft of that channel. One of the first issues we realized many months ago was how to evacuate cargo out of that location. The road has been concessioned, or award has been given for the reconstruction of the road to Dangote under the tax scheme. But of course that has not started. And between Nigerian Ports Authority and Lekki Deep Sea Port, we realized that if that is not resolved, then that means we'll be having a replica of what is happening in Apapa and Tinkan. And the use of barges is already being explored. So currently there are locations that are going to be used for evacuation of cargo using barges. Now it's either to locations outside Lagos or locations within Lagos itself. And that has been explored. The studies are being carried out currently. But what we are encouraging Lekki Deep Sea Port to do is to first of all concentrate on getting transit cargo into Nigeria. These are cargoes that we used to have in those days before we lost it to neighboring African countries. We've started discussions with Lekki Deep Sea Port in terms of what tariffs will be charged. Because transit cargoes are extremely sensitive to pricing, in the sense that the importer of those cargoes is bringing them into the first location, which in this case would be Lekki, and then it will now have to move to another country. And Lekki Deep Seaport has come up with tariffs that we are looking at, and I think in the next few weeks we will address that. But we've been discussing with Federal Ministry of Works and Housing in terms of the need to start reconstruction of that location. The e-call-up system will already be deployed to Lekki. That way also you are going to have a seamless flow of traffic. But let me state that Lekki will not be like Tinkan and Apapa. Tinkan and Apapa, you have to go there physically to a large extent for documentation, for clearing, and so on and so forth. It's an automated port where you can actually start the process of documentation and clearing of your goods from your home or from your office. So it means physical presence will not actually be needed in Lekki. So that reduces the human traffic there. For trucks, we have already started identifying locations where we'll have truck parks. We're discussing with private investors to create truck parks within that axis, just like we also have outside the red corridor of Tinkan and Apapa ports. It means that when you have those trucks in those locations, they only go in to pick up their cargo when the cargo is ready for evacuation. But I believe that between October and November, construction of the road from Lekki Deep Seaport into the city will be coming up. Now recall that when the president also visited Lekki, he directed the then Minister of Transportation to start a survey to ensure that a rail line is brought into Lekki. The essence here is to connect the rail line that is from Lagos to Ibadan to Lekki, so that there will be cargo evacuation from Lekki to some of the dry ports that are either in Ibadan and other locations. Now, of course, that will not be immediate. The survey work has not actually gone very far. But if that is done, we believe that that will ensure that we don't have that gridlock that we have in Tinkan and Apapa. We are working with both the Federal Ministry of Transportation, Nigerian Railway Corporation, and Lekki Deep Seaport to ensure that these initiatives are in place. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that for me is one of the most important things, the rail line you are speaking about. And maybe one of the things we need to do is to also set up a summit or a private discussion panel with banks to see how banks can intervene as quickly as possible. As I listened to you, I found the same issue all of us have, which is about imports rather than exports, if you get the point I'm trying to make. So I think we need to spend some time together. I know that you have your own game plan, but having been a banker yourself and been in the private sector, I think we need to have a deeper meeting to see how we can help or support that whole initiative right from now. If not, when you're not there, what would happen? If you get the point I'm trying to make, the whole initiative would die. But I think the next person to speak to would be the Deputy CG of Customs. And this is more, sir, you would find out that by the time Mahmouda and everybody speaks, that one of the problems that people raise has to do with the level of documentation required in the ports. Some of them may be archaic, if you get the point I'm trying to make, may have outlived their usefulness, but particularly for exports, it's a big issue. What are you doing within the customs to streamline it? I'll give you a simple example of what my experience a few weeks ago. I went to visit a neighboring country, and they told me that to travel out of that country, up until 5 years ago, all the citizens had to get police clearance, even to leave the country. Until the vice president woke up one day, who was a young boy, I said, what are we doing with, what benefit is it? And you are making things difficult for people to even come into the country. So the country can never grow, if you get the point I'm trying to make. So I'm bringing that analogy to some of the documentation and processes, particularly for exports. What can we do to improve all of that? Or what steps are you taking within the customs to handle that?
Good afternoon. For us, in the customs, rule essentially is trade facilitation. We are drivers of the export value chain, and like you rightly pointed out, yes, documentation is key. But for us to be able to get it more seamlessly, I guess we have to go do full automation. You know, the processes need to be automated. We have we have the documents, the requisite documents that are used in the export value chain, which are essentially the NXP and the CCI, and these documents need to be automated, so much so that from the customs end, and it should be integrated into our NICES2 platform. This is like a one-stop shop where, you know, all the agencies and the stakeholders can directly, like for the exporter in the comfort of their homes, they can be able to process their documents. They can see the documents real-time online if the process is digitalized and automated end-to-end. So that looks to us like a little constraint. For the, I mean, we don't want to go into import for like, but I mean, drawing an analogy from the import side, we have all the, like the Form M regime, we have the E Form M, and all the other documents like the PAR and etc., they are all integrated onto that NICES platform. And at the click of a finger, you are able to see all the documents, you know, because some of these documents, when you look at manual transmission of these documents, you find out that, you know, it kind of delays the process, you know, because, I mean, documents will come from the PIA office, for example, like in a real life situation, documents will come from the PIA, they will be dispatched manually. It may interest you to know these documents are dispatched manually to customs. And then we also, you know, I mean, at the level of releasing of the cargo, I mean, we should be able to click at the click of a finger, assess, look at the SGDs, that's the single declaration forms, ESGDs in terms of export, and also see all the other documents, you know, real time online, you know, but that isn't what we have at the moment.
But the point is, how long can it take to digitize this process? With the right partnerships, it will not take 90 days to digitize the entire process.
Yes, yes. But at the level of, you know, government, I guess it's something that goes beyond the customs. Automating that process goes beyond the customs.
Okay.
You know, so we should be thinking about, like we are doing now, engaging the CBN, engaging the Federal Ministry of Finance on that particular.
So this must be, I guess, part of the thing we're trying to achieve here is to identify these things.
Yes, sir.
And create a permanent solution amongst ourselves.
Yes, sir.
Some of the Nigerian banks here who are present in Ghana, Zenith, GT, etc., help set up something at the ports in Ghana. There's nothing like a long room. Whether you're exporting or you're importing, it's robotics, and it goes through. Now, if that could have happened in just neighboring Ghana, and I've gone to see the port in Mombasa, how can this be, for us who are such a great country, we think that, because we keep hearing this from, we have created smaller panels with exporters, all right, that this is a major disincentive, if you get the point I'm trying to make. Yes. So maybe one of the things we need to take away from today's conference is that we actually need to understand, because quite frankly, in customs, you are at the highest level. Same thing, the central bank is represented here. Ministry of Finance is not far away. Why can't we just create a deadline and tell ourselves that over the next 90 days, we will deal with this problem and deal with it, if you get the point I'm making?
Yes, as it were, it requires a whole of government approach so that we are able to, you know, digitalize and automate the process.
Okay. No, it's okay. So I think it's a fair point. I mean, once we have the willingness, we will resolve it.
Most definitely.
We are being open to ourselves today, because when the governor was speaking, he spoke about Nigeria. So it's even And if we don't solve these problems, it's other generations, our children will feel it, So I guess we'll take that away and look for how to find a solution. But we'll create a timeline and share with you and set up a team, as has worked in other countries. How do we work together to ensure that we get this out of the way?
Up until a few years ago, Nigeria produced far less than it consumed, spending up to $22 billion annually on importation. Then came the import policy by the federal government. Now, to survive, the nation must learn to be self-sufficient. And so far, we are on the verge of achieving this through the intervention of the Central Bank of Nigeria and other stakeholders in support of local farmers and efforts of value chain entrepreneurs. Now, the goal of creating 10 million jobs in 5 years through 10 commodities is gradually being actualized. Let's buy Nigerian to grow Nigeria.
That's the package from the CBN this week. Remember to get your unresolved banking issues across to the CBN Consumer Protection Department using the email address cpd@cbn.gov.ng. Attach relevant documents. Call CBN Contact Center using the phone line +234 2255 226. Local call rates may apply. Send your inquiries and comments to the dedicated email address from the CBN @gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter for updates and to watch uploaded episodes of the program. We invite you to join us again next time. I'm Ulie Misidada. Stay safe and bye for now.